I am here with Niklas Stolze fighting this weekend, Oktagon 55, another big show for Oktagon. And Niklas, first of all, just how's everything going in fight week? Obviously, you just told me you're a little bit hungry, but I guess that goes with the territory. But how are things?
Hey man, hey Jay. First of all, thank you for having me. Thanks for your time. And then, yeah, it's fight week, so fight week is usually a little bit hungry, a little bit thirsty. But overall, I think I'm doing fine. Yeah, I'm right on point. My weight is where it should be, so it's all good.
Well, that is good to hear. Correct me if I'm wrong. This one is at welterweight. Are you done with the lightweight division entirely? Is welterweight going to be the home moving forward?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So 155 is now just too far away because my body changed a little bit. So I stepped out of the UFC and then prepared myself for 170 at Oktagon. And now it's like, I think it became just naturally for my body to just make 170, 155 is just too far to reach at the moment, you know? So I know I heard about that if you make the weight once, you can make it always, but yeah, it's like I just added a couple of muscle mass, I'm just got a little bit bigger for Octagon and I feel very, very good for 170 actually.
Well, that's good to hear. And before we get to Octagon 55, I want to go back to your last couple of fights. Obviously the UFC run didn't go as you had hoped, but you also got some killers in there. Like, Benoit Saint Denis was just fighting Dustin Poirier. So when you see things like that, does that kind of put it in perspective for you?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Like everyone who I fought in the UFC was a straight up killer. I mean, I guess they just sign killers, Obviously, there are some fights where you can move around, a little bit where you're like, okay, this is maybe doable, and no, this is not really doable. But I had no really choices, The first time I joined the UFC, I was with a small management, so I had no real voice. I know I don't had like I didn't had much like Instagram power or something else to choose something, So first fight was short notice. It was 10 days against Ramadan, and I'm totally fine with my performance against him. It was all good. I fought 3 rounds, one of the best 170 guys. I came straight up from construction working, so I was not doing any training at all. So I was cool with that. Second fight was bullshit. It's a long story behind that, but to keep it short, it was a fight week in the COVID times. So they took away one day before my fight, they took away my whole team because of COVID positive tests. So I had no real team to go in there. And I still stepped in there, lost. But then still, Jared Gooden is a really good guy. He just subbed Well Thurman, and yeah, he's now fighting Kevin Youssef, which is also a very good matchup. And then, like you said, Benoit Denis, everyone knows him now because he fought Poirier. So I think now everyone knows him. I knew him a little bit before that as well because he was very good at Brave. So yeah, straight up killers, like you said, it didn't went well, but overall, I learned so much about myself. It put me in such deep waters, and now I'm just super good prepared for everyone else.
And then signing with Octagon, you get the bounce back fight, you get the win. So what did you learn from that last performance?
Um, I'm just I learned that I'm still able to win fights. I was losing 3 fights in 3 years, so it's kind of like it's ego shaking. It's like eye opening that you really have to do something different now. And I changed a lot. I changed a lot in my mindset. I changed a lot in training habits, training routines. And now I'm just like a whole different fighter, I guess.
You mentioned losing the three in a row there, and you'd never lost three fights in a row before. So did it take a while to
No.
get the confidence back?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It took me a lot of time. And then the original comeback didn't went as planned as well because the guy stepped out on fight week and then they couldn't find a replacement. So it pushed me back another couple months. Um, which helped me at the end of the day to prepare myself even better. So it took me a while, but now since the fight with Kalashnik at Cologne, it's just all good. You know, my confidence is way up high again.
Good
It
stuff.
wasn't that I really lost my confidence. You know, I know what I'm able and I know what I'm capable of, and it's it's still like I'm visiting gyms and I'm still one of the best on every mat I visit. You know, so I'm kind of like I know that I'm very good, but there's just like circumstances and like yeah, daily feelings and uh, yeah, a couple of situations which like went into like losing all the UFC fights, you know. But now I'm very good. I'm feeling very, very good.
You mentioned the opponent stepping out during fight week there, and I'm going to assume that was probably an injury. But, having been through that UFC run and fought some high level guys, have you had any trouble finding opponents, or is Octagon big enough that they can kind of, keep you paired up with someone?
Yeah. So first of all, Octagon is pretty big now and they doing a very, very good job. I was just like posting a story on my Instagram and saying that a lot of people always like try to compare, you know, like I kind of understand that everyone wants to jump on the UFC train, you know, and then they are like, oh, I'm in a big organization. I won one fight and now I just want to jump on the UFC stuff. And then they kind of like compare organizations, you know, and everyone is like, yeah, Octagon is good, but it's not as big and blah, blah, blah. But they are pretty big. And especially at 170, they are probably one of the best organizations in Europe. They have a pretty solid roster. So they can keep me busy. Um, and the whole organization at all, like overall, is really, really good. Like they move like a very, very big major organization. Like I have a really nice hotel room. Everything is on point, you know, weigh-ins are on point, you know, hydration zones, all is on point. You know, I have sauna in the room, I have a workout room. It's very, very high level. So don't get it wrong, you know, that they are not so big. It's just probably the quality of fighters, you know, which lacking a little bit. But yeah, I think the pound for pound list at Octagon is pretty good, pretty good. And I think they can keep me busy. As long as these people want to fight me. Like you said, my last fight was like 10 or 12 names just jumped out, you know, and said, no, 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 I don't fight this guy. You know, I'm like, okay. And then Kalashnik stepped up and said, yeah, I'm going to fight him. And I was actually pretty shocked that this guy said he's want to fight me, you know, because Andre is a very nice guy. Don't get me wrong. He's a cool dude, you know, but like the first moment he signed, I was like, I wish someone else would have said, you know, like, let me fight, you know, someone with a bit better record. But now I just accepted the situation at Octagon. I accept what they want to do with their favorite guys, you know. I just gonna win my fights and I'm just gonna keep cussing at them and keep calling them out. And then at some point they're gonna fight me.
Good stuff. Now, you mentioned Mate there. Obviously, he is your opponent coming up. Just give me your thoughts on him as an opponent. Like you said, maybe not the best record, but no doubt still a dangerous fight.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Like, and like, I can't say not just a good record, you know, because if you compare our records, they are very equal, you know. If you look at the opponents and you see the difference, you know, but at the end of the day, I don't want to take anything away from anyone with such a bad record, you know, how people want to say it, like, oh, I said it before, I don't know. But he's a solid fighter. He fought for the belt. He fought 5 rounds. He fought overall Europe. You know, he had a lot of guys in front of him, and I think he's very battle tested. You know, and he does have a good cardio, so he can fight 3 rounds, which shows that he has a very good level of athletics and it's not easy to fight 3 rounds in MMA, and a lot of UFC dudes just can't do it without very, very high level preparation, you know. So I assume that he's ready and I think it's gonna be tough. But as soon as I figure out and find his holds, I'm gonna put him away.
Well, looking forward to the fight this weekend. Octagon's always a good show. Obviously,
Yes.
making a lot of inroads into the UK, into
Yes.
Germany, of course. Um, how much of a factor was being able to basically fight at home or close to home for you when choosing to sign with Octagon?
Yeah, this was amazing. Like literally amazing because Um, all my fights back then have been in Germany, most time in the eastern part where I grew up and where I lived. And crowds always have been so nice, you know. My city is very um they are like heavy in the soccer culture, you know. So they go and support their teams very heavy. Especially my city supports their team very much. You know, there's like every game there's like nearly to 30,000 people in the stadium, which is big for a small city like us. So I was like, oh, as soon as I'm gonna fight in Germany again, there's a lot of supporters and there's like big shows, and I was like just happy the way they set it up with Frankfurt, you know, and put in Christian Eckerlin because he's such a big guy, and then they sold it out, and then they see, okay, we just can put other fighters on, and then they did Cologne, and with Cologne it was just amazing, like 20,000 people in Germany, you know, and then you can walk out with your flag and with your people, you know, everyone was there, my family was there. It was just one of the best feelings, you know, because as soon as I signed with the UFC back then, I knew that's going to be a big problem, you know, even in the future, you know, because it's going to be hard to generate such a buzz that people travel from your country to other countries, you know, and support you. It's such hard. And then in times like this, where everyone has struggled to make money and, you know, save this money, it's just not so easy. So I was like super, super happy and super glad to fight in Germany, actually, and continue to fight in Germany.
Well, it's great to see. I mean, it's the kind of shows that you used to only see from the UFC, maybe Bellator,
Yes.
and now you're seeing KSW and Octagon draw these big crowds. So very, very cool
Yes.
to see. Um, I wanted to ask as well. Um, we got some news the other day that the UFC has settled their antitrust lawsuit. That actually came out
Oh, yeah.
yesterday. And they
Yeah, I
actually
saw it.
settled two lawsuits. They settled the initial one, which was from 2011 to 2017. They also settled the one that covered the time period after. So I'm wondering if you are covered by that and what you thought of that settlement, because there's a chance you might actually get some money.
Bro, I don't know. I really, really don't know. All I know is that I got some money from the UFC a couple weeks ago because of some, I think, merch or something, you know, like some earnings, which was pretty cool. Like it was a small amount, but it was still fun to look at your bank account and see, oh, UFC's dropping you some money. It's what everyone is dreaming of, you know. But I really don't know. I'm gonna ask my management. At the end of the day, uh, I mean, money would be super nice and everything, but I stopped really believing and thinking that I'm going to be super, super rich through MMA, you know? Like, I work my ass off and I'm going to fight all my fights and I'm going to win all my fights. I'm going to make my money. And it's my brand is growing and everything, you know, and everything around me. And I just evolved so much as a person. So I'm not really feared or scared, not really getting much money. But at the end of the day, I saw the huge amount of money they filled for this lawsuit, you know, and if there's just a percent for me, I would say no, you know, but I really don't know. I don't know how much time it covered. I signed with the UFC in 2020. It was right during COVID. So I don't know what these, you know, if this is all covered. I really don't know. I have to read it in, but I'm going to do it after my fight.
Absolutely. I'm going to ask you one more before I let you go. Obviously, you are getting this one in now. What are your goals for 2024? Are you hoping to fight maybe two more times this year? What's kind of your game plan?
Depends on the outcome on this weekend. Like said, I plan to finish him early, get him away early, and then stay healthy. I have a couple personal things coming up in the summer. I have a couple things to do. I'm gonna go traveling. I'm gonna go meet up with a couple friends in America and do some cool stuff. So, and then I'm also gonna move houses. I'm moving from Germany to Cyprus, which is gonna be super cool. I'm still gonna train in Germany and still gonna fight out of Germany, but I just moved for personal reasons and like living circumstances. You know, I want to have my own house and my own little backyard and my own little chickens and everything, you know. And it's just so hard to afford all this in Germany at the moment. So we move for a while. Um, And then we'll see what Octagon is doing. Octagon is doing like a 170 welterweight championship tournament on one evening with four very good fighters. I'm gonna keep my eye on these guys, and then I'm probably gonna call one of these guys out. Like I would just say, hey, let me fight the guy who's holding the title, or at least give me a number one contender fight. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. But if I get one more fight this year, would be sweet.
Good stuff. Well, love it. Love the backyard chickens idea. I've actually always wanted to do that, and you can't do it here because of the bylaws. But I
Yeah.
wish you the best of luck in the move. Enjoy the travel.
Thank
But
you very
first
much.
and foremost, best of luck in the fight this weekend, Octagon 55. Nicholas, thanks very much again for the time today. Looking forward to it.
Thank you very much, Jay. I appreciate it.
You are very welcome. Have a good one, man. Talk soon.
Thank you very much. Bye
You're
bye.
welcome. Cheers.